Hi everyone, my name is Daniel Akinshola and this is Ignite Entrepreneurs. Ignite Entrepreneurs is a podcast that we organize in Kamloops where we interview Black business owners where they tell us about their story, how it all began, the challenges they faced, and then they share their strengths, how they survived the tough times and they're still managing to be in business. Today we are in Big Jerk, beautiful restaurant here in the home of Kamloops. Lovely spots, lovely parking space here. And of course the food is very, very, very delicious. I've been here several times. And we have with us today, we have Hazelyn. Yeah. She's the executive director, the founder, the owner of Big Jerk. You're welcome to today's show.
Thank you.
I know we're supposed to record in the library, in the other year, but this is business.
Yes, life happens.
Life happens, and the show still managed to go on.
Yes.
Thank you for making our time, for making it possible for us to come. Okay, Hazelyn, I'm sure everybody would like to get to know a little about you.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Hazelyn.
Well, my name is Hazelyn. My last name King-Williams. Actually divorced but kept the name. I have two grown adult children, a boy and a girl, like a man and a woman now. I am a grandmother and a business owner, as Daniel said, a founder, an entrepreneur. My background is also in social work, and I have an undergraduate degree. Not finished yet, but hoping to balance that out as well in the future, maybe a year or two from now. That's my long-term goal.
So, Hazelyn, where are you from?
I am from the island of beautiful Jamaica. Jamaica man.
Jamaica man.
Jamaica man, and well, Jamaica woman. Yeah, and I came to Canada in the year 1993, so that is about 32 years now. I've lived in Canada, came here, I was very young. Had my son, brought my son along with me, and had my daughter here in Canada. I come from a little district called Bartons, so Bartons, St. Catherine. I was raised by a single mother in that district. My father occasionally stopped by and said hi, or supported us through any kind of other school ventures. So they didn't live together, but my father supported as best as he knew how to. Yeah.
So how was growing up like for you? Was it very exciting, or was it a quiet childhood?
For me, my childhood was very exciting. I enjoyed my childhood to the fullest. Lots of plays around the community. We had a big yard, so lots of plays, playing in the yard and playing with neighbors and stuff like that. And my grandmother had a shop, so I was busy serving tobacco as a child, to figure that out. Serving tobacco in my grandmother's shop to some of the customers, and serving flour, the main staples, flour, sugar, rice. I was very involved in what you would call the businesses that operated within the home. So my grandfather was also a butcher, and I learned to clean meat from a very early age. Yeah, so I had a bit of responsibilities of doing a lot of things, a lot of chores, being responsible for my youngest siblings. When my mom went to the market, of course, to sell produce that was harvested from the fields. And I'm just like always a go-to person. Like, so all of my friends would check in with me, and it was, I didn't have any bad experiences. I had a lot of jealousy in my community as a young girl growing up, but that didn't deter me.
Why was there jealousy?
I don't know, maybe from the home that I come from, just because my home was a well-kept home, well-balanced home. We had a lot of, at that time, it looked like a lot of things to us, because we didn't know what hunger was. We didn't walk. We didn't beg food from people. We were quite an independent home. Like, a lot of people came to us for help. We helped a lot of people in our community. So I don't know if it was perceived that I was maybe perceived to be better than others, and that could have been one of the reasons for jealousy, but it was certainly there. I learned to fight in my own community to like stay alive and just stay positive. I just kept it moving no matter what people say about you. It kind of, that hardness in my core started developing right there.
Do you think that has anything to do with success for you today?
Absolutely, because what people perceived and want you to be, that's not, most times people are projecting. Like, they're projecting their insecurities, they're projecting fear. And I learned from a very early age not to be fearful, and to be, and to just keep it moving, to be, just strive for what you want. And that I'm becoming an adult, that made me work harder. Like, if they say that I was a dunce, like, being a dunce means that maybe you have a different learning, a different way of learning things when you were smaller. But when I became older, I'm like, being called some of those names, I decided that I'm not a dunce. I'm going to prove to the world that I'm not a dunce. Like, I'm going to make sure that I stay in school, follow what I need to follow to succeed in what I needed to succeed in. And that has always, since high school, that has always been my my philosophy. Like, I never came less than in the first 10 in high school. Like, I've always placed myself somewhere between the third to the sixth. Like, I've always strived to be in the first top 10 of everything. Like,
What would you say, apart from the jealousy, was it from parents? What would you say another kind of inspiration for you to keep going, to be strong?
Well, my mom is a determined woman, and I've seen how hard she works. And as I said, my father was there, but he was not a main provider. So I've seen my mom always had food on the table. My mom has always persevered, did what she knew how to do best, like go pick those fruits and those produce and go to the market and sell it and make sure that our school fees are paid, our back to school things are okay, our lunch money is okay. So I just draw from that plethora of strength from her. And, even doing this restaurant, sometimes I think, I would like to have one just to name it after her, because I think she has just demonstrated and taught so much. Like, she raised us as single mom, and you were scared to step out of line. Like, because you would be disciplined.
Looking at today, I know that's a little bit of digression from business, but looking at today with the mothers we have and the style of raising kids, what little advice would you have for mothers?
Mothers have to be more responsible. You have to hold children accountable for their actions. There's no way you should be letting children just do what they have to do because maybe the government says, okay, you can't. But you have to find a way to let them understand that making right choices is the right thing to do. For me, I took so much from my mom. I didn't so much beat my children or corporal punishing them, but just letting them know that your action is going to have consequences. For every action that you do, it's going to have consequences. And I literally, until today, I still practice that. If you decided to do something that is out of scope of what the law says that you're supposed to do, there's consequences that follow that. And guess what? I'm not backing you up when you make the wrong choices. I'm not backing you up. You're going to be there alone. And I've had a couple examples which I don't wish to share. But yeah, I've had a couple examples with my son, and I just said, you know what? You made those choices. Right? So I think parents just need to hold children accountable and not let children guilt tripping them into feeling like their choices. You have to lay the table, right? You have to put on the table your expectations, what you want for your children to be. And even if they're not being that, you see, maybe you want them to be a doctor, but they want to be a lawyer. That's okay. Let children be accountable and responsible for their actions.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Now, look, going back to business, at a very young age, you started helping your mom, little stuff. When did you actually start to feel that you would go into business? How did business come into the picture for you?
Actually, the person who brought me into starting a restaurant, because I'm a good cook, I've always been a good cook. It was my ex-husband, Andrew, and he bought a restaurant behind my back and came home and literally told me that I bought a restaurant. That was in 1998. I bought a restaurant, and I'm like, you did what? So I'm like, who's going to cook in that restaurant? And he's like, you. So that was my first initial interest in having like a restaurant. That restaurant faded out, and I started another one in 2018, but because of COVID, we had to close the doors because the sales and everything wasn't making sense. So, but that first initial starting of that restaurant, kind of like, I still had that in me, that entrepreneurial spirit, that serving spirit, that spirit that you want to serve. You know, the entrepreneurial spirit is a spirit. It's a spirit. It's something that you hang on to it. You have a passion for doing things. You have a passion for doing things, and it's not a light passion. You'll actually go to bed and be like thinking about it. Like you're thinking forward, like, what do you want it to be? How are you going to maintain it? What's going to happen when crisis comes? Like, you have to be forward thinking and always thinking of how to keep it going in spite of like tear down or, things not going the way that you plan. You always have to have a backup plan.
Yeah. It's amazing you say spirit, because when you look at some entrepreneurs, it's like, it's out of the ordinary. The way they go about, they're just thinking, writing, So how can one find the spirit? Because I know that there are a few people that will come to Kamloops, migrants, and they will say, there's ways to do business, but how do you find that spirit for that particular business that you want to do?
Well, it has to be something that you're passionate about. Whether it's in education, whether it's in tech, whether it's in cooking, whether it's in human services, it doesn't matter in what area, but you have to be passionate about it. It's a passion that it doesn't die out. Like, you'll be saying to me, okay, your business is not running okay, but you should lock it up. Like, to me, if you say that to me, that would be an insult. So it's a passion. You have to be passionate about something. And then you don't have to be rich to start it. You could start it with on a small scale. Start with whatever money you have and just watch it build and grow and keep learning about it. Keep watching videos. Keep find people who are doing that business and be their support or peer support or volunteer in that business, right? See what other restaurants are doing. When I came to Kamloops, I just saw a niche to prepare food that I liked, that I wanted, that I couldn't find here. And that's what made me open this business. I'm like, okay, there's a niche. I gotta tap into that. Like, and people are saying, but Kamloops is such a small place. Like, not in my eyes. I see Kamloops as a very big place. A place where I can be successful, I can start here, I can branch out somewhere else. My dreams are endless, like, you know, so you have to have that passion, that zeal, that no matter what people say, no matter the discouragement, just have it in your mind that you're not going to fail, you're not a failure, you're not going to give up now. You find strategies. Find strategies. Maybe if you can't have a storefront, you can start it in your home, and you can prepare your stuff at home and create an Amazon account and sell on Amazon. But you know, you have to be passionate about what you want to do.
You talked about passion. You talked about service. How can one make the two align together? Because sometimes you find a lot of passion, but you don't know how to serve. Or you can serve, but
you don't
there's
have
no
passion.
passion.
Yeah.
How can one align?
Oh, that's a tough question. Because for me, serving is easy because I'm passionate about what I do. And, you know, getting feedback from my customers, like I always come out, and if I'd never met them before, I'll say interactions are important in service. So interact with your customers, interact with people. Like I network with community members, right? And somebody come in, like, you don't have to buy a bottle of water, because I buy a case of water for like X amount of dollars. So if I give you a water, it's almost like that's service. It's hot. I'm thinking of my clients' needs before they even ask, right? So the two things tie together, but they're kind of separate, but they work together. You know what I mean? One don't go without the other. Like they're a combined thing, right? So great service equals
good business.
Good business, right? That's like the key. Like it's no vice versa. It's the key. It's equal too. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Vision now. That's the other thing you talked about, because what you said when you came to Kamloops, you didn't see it as a small place.
No.
You saw it as a place you could flourish. How can one get vision, and how can that vision be strengthened?
Positive mindset can make you have a vision. Like, but you know, if you're passionate, your passion is your vision. So write down things. Like, you know, when I came to Canada, I had a list of things that I wrote down on paper, and I kept it throughout the years. And every single one of those things, without looking on the paper, that I wrote down, I accomplished. It included learning how to drive, going back to school, starting from the basics. I did my upgrading. When I went to do my English exam, they said I had a lot of thoughts, but I didn't know how to organize those thoughts. So I started learning I took evening classes while sending my kids to school, and while working on my days off, I would be at Northwest College in Edmonton doing my English classes, and I learned strategically how to write from basic English. Like I went back to basic English and learned how to write everything. And then, so my upgrading and my vision, everything that I've written on that paper, I've done so far.
So one must not be scared to learn, because I know some people will go like, oh, I've been doing this for 50 years. I know what I'm talking about. Learning. How important is learning?
Learning, I tell my students, because I was a CSW instructor in Edmonton at Academy of Learning, and some of the students that come to my classroom, I tell them learning is infinite. Be a learner. No matter what, be a learner, like, because nobody knows everything. If somebody comes in here with a vision, okay, your food has too much pepper, or it has too much this, or I think you should do this, I listen, because I'm always in a learning phase. If you don't, or you refuse to want to learn something, you're not going to do well in life. You have to be open to learning.
Now that learning, is it strictly on, you know, if you like making sandwiches, should I just learn how to make sandwiches, or do I learn? Because some people will go like, I just want to learn what I want to learn. I don't need to learn everything.
Yeah.
I need to learn bookkeeping, or, you know, how to clean. I don't just want to learn how to make sandwiches.
But that's okay. If you just want to learn how to make sandwiches, learn it, and learn it very well. Possibly in your creating a sandwich, you can try different things and you could say, oh, you know what, I tried pickle on this sandwich and it's great. Maybe you'll discover something, but at least you put yourself in that position to learn that, right? So learning should not just be, traditional things. Like for me, I take all my traditional recipes that came down from my grandmother to my mother to my older sisters, and I put a twist on it. I added things to those recipes that I like to modernize the menu, right? So everything goes back to learning. It's infinite. It's one of the things that never stop. Like unless you're dead, then you can't learn anything else, right?
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So
some people would even say, even in the grave, you keep learning.
Exactly. How are you going to come back as a good spirit?
As a good. But putting your own twist on your grandma's recipe, traditional recipes, where did that idea come from?
From my vision. Like when I sat down to write out my menus, and it's like my taste buds came to life. Like, so my mom would make, traditionally she would make rice and peas, but she wouldn't put ginger. I never saw her put ginger. So I thought, okay, ginger has lots of different benefits for the body, and so I started blending ginger. I started like creating different flavors, adding ginger, adding different things to my menu, which I'm going to keep a secret.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But it's examples like that. Like,
well, now I know ginger, so I'm going to get ginger.
Oh, yeah, so it's like using all those coconut milk. I saw them use coconut milk, a lot of coconut milk in a lot of things, because back growing up, we didn't really have milk at our disposal. So everything is made with plant-based. We ate a lot of plant-based ground provisions. The rice was a treat on Sundays. Like, we didn't cook rice during the week. Very rare. Yeah, but we ate a lot of yams and potatoes and just whatever was planted on the field, in the field, plantains, bananas. Yeah, that was our main staple, not bread and flour.
Yeah.
But we had bread. We had bread. We had bread. We had, because remember that I said that my grandmother was a shopkeeper too. So she sold bread, flour, sugar, rice. My grandfather planted sugarcane and he made his own brown sugar.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm coming from a very diverse background.
It's amazing how there's a connection between growing up, childhood, what the parents do, and what the kids eventually end up doing in life. Should parents be aware that their actions will influence their kids?
Very much aware. Very much aware. Are you going to raise children and not understand that you're their main influence? You're their role model. They're watching you. If you think they're not watching you, you just wait. They will open their mouth one day and you'll be surprised. But mom, you did it, right? Yeah. So, raising children is not an easy task, and I'm not being judgmental of any parent, because it's, especially when you have to do it as a single mother, it's a tough situation.
Yeah. So entrepreneurs then should also consider that their actions presently will influence their kids. So entrepreneurs will most likely create more entrepreneurs as children.
Absolutely.
Well.
Absolutely, because they're going to do what's comfortable for them. And doing this business, my son knows how to cook. Because he has helped me cook in Edmonton. Like, he's not here right now in Kamloops, but my son is an excellent cook. He's a mean oxtail maker, and he learned that from me. He's so interested in this restaurant. He hopes that one day he can, both of them, my son and my daughter, they hope that one day they can come in full time and help me. But at this time, they have their lives, and they're busy raising children and taking care of their families. So hopefully one day, they will meet me halfway.
That's another great benefit for
absolutely.
entrepreneurs. You're not just serving the people, your clients, you're also serving your generations to come.
Absolutely, and that's what my hope for, is that they will keep the culture going, right? Because I always say to them, we have something to give. We have something that is unique to us. Like, we don't have to let that die out. Yeah, we need to preserve our heritage. We need to, keep it going. Even if I write these recipes down, we should be able to make it in such a way that we can train any person, white, black, purple, green, blue person, to run this business. Like, I'm not just doing it to cater to, to employ just black people or people of color. If I find a great person who's willing to learn, here we go back to learning, I would be able to teach them these skills. But, you have to be willing to learn.
To learn.
Yeah.
Let's go to the 5 main things, because that's also another high point of this podcast. 5 main things that helped you stay, and keep going in business. You could take it one by one.
For sure. The spirit of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
That's one.
That's one.
It has to come from within, like from deep, from your core. I'm not going to fail. I wake up every morning and I do my affirmations. I said, I'm not the head. I am not the tail. I am the head. I am the founder. I am the leader. I am created to create. So I'm created to take what is out there that is created already and to make new things. That's number one, the entrepreneurial spirit. The other thing is my resilience, being able to bounce back from tough situations. There are times when I wake up and I'm just like, even though I sound so positive, sometimes I feel like just coming in here and just locking it up. I do have that. But how do you get out of that, right? It goes back to the spirit where I have to remind myself why I started this. Like, if you don't have a purpose, you have to have that purpose as to why you're doing the thing. Like, you can't just do it because your vision says do it or whatever. But who are you serving? Why are you serving these people? Right? It has to go back to your purpose. Like, I want this to go down to generation. That's another purpose. Right? And just asking the other, so we're at number 3 or 2, just being able to step up to the plate when everybody else. Like, for even this morning, right? My worker phoned in and she says, she's not here, she can't make it, she's sick. I'm like, okay, what do I do? So you have to prepare yourself to sometimes be alone. Sometimes you have to, but you have to start the business knowing these things. What am I going to do when my workers don't show up? Is this a business that I can do on my own? How long is it going to take me to find a replacement? What am I going to do to fill in the gap when my workers don't show up? How will I manage? For me, I turn off some of the items so I don't have to make so many things because I'm alone, right? So I'll just do the main things. You have to have a strategy. True. And having close family and friends who motivate.
That's number 4.
Yes. Family and friends who say, keep it going. Look at where you're at. Look at how you started. Look at how the possibilities. Now people are seeing the possibilities because I'm open now for 1 year. Yeah, I actually took the keys last year, end of July-ish, August. And so it's 1 year since I took the keys, and coming December will be 1 year since I started serving food. And I have my mom encourages me, my children encourages me, my ex-husband encourages me. I have other extended family members who encourages me, my friends. Finding people like you and Sally, it's like very, very great. Other people in the community support me, so it's very great to have those people in your back pocket, like, I am about to fall apart, what do I do? Kind of thing, right?
Positive, to have a positive circle.
To have a positive circle. And that is one of the reasons why I can't work with people who come in. Sometimes you go to a business and you see fast turnover. It's not that those people are not good. They're good in their own way. They could be a good worker, but they're not a good learner. So sometimes you have to just like weed it out quick, like because you don't want things to make you hungry. You don't want things that are gonna push you over the edge. So sometimes it's just good to just clean slate and start all over again. And then my last one, my core number one value as well is my faith. Like, what would I do without my faith? I didn't even have a lot of money when I started this. I didn't have a lot of money. I was working in a decent job, as you know, and I was using that money instead of like taking trips and, you know, some people vape, some people do have their own extracurricular activities. They drink, they smoke. I saw a way to invest that money into something long term. And my faith, even days when I could not pay my rent here, and I get told to come out, go, you don't deserve to have a business. You need to start. If you can't pay your rent, you shouldn't have a business. Those times are tough. Those times are very, very tough. And if it wasn't my faith in God or in a higher power, I would have just packed it up a long time ago. I started off with 1 table and 4 chairs. And then gradually I started buying things, and my vision started to come out, and people are coming in and saying, oh, it's nice, it's very minimalistic. But I don't mind it because, first of all, this is a temporary location. I didn't take this location for it to be my ever after location. The vision did not just stop here on these white walls, but I have greater vision. I have a greater vision to, you know, make it more, you step in and it's more authentically Jamaican. I would like to bring that out a bit more. But for now, I got this place and I really cleaned it up. People can't recognize the floors still.
It's beautiful. I remember when you started. You're right. It was 1 table and 4 chairs.
Yes,
right.
there was 1 table and 4 chairs. And these are the stories that I look back at and I think there's hope. Yeah. There's hope. I'm here to provide a great service. I'm here to really learn as I go, as much as I cook. Some days, I'm very hard on myself. Some days to me, the food is not 100% because I have a system that I follow. And if I don't follow that system that I'm trying to teach, and I try to take one shortcut, my food might not come out tasting the same as I want it to. So it takes a lot of practice. It takes endurance. Like, I'm an older woman now. I'm not in my 20s. And going up these stairs and coming down is certainly keeping me active. So there's just things. So those are the 5 main core things that keep me going from day to day.
Thank you so much. I just kept listening because I could relate to a lot of them. I've started a few businesses too. I know it has to do with vision.
It has to do with vision.
Yeah, vision, courage.
Yes.
Yeah, boldness to just keep going and not giving up.
Not giving up. If you give up, how are you going to know? Like, that is one of the key things that I keep thinking about every time I want to give up. I'm like, but I come this far. Like, if I give up now, like, how would I know? How would I be in 6 months? Right? So I just put a lot of sacrifice. Paying my rent is one of the hardest ones because I have to balance 2 rents. So paying my own rent at home and then paying the shop rent plus all the other bills is certainly a challenge. I have not gotten any loans from anyone, any grants, no support financially, but I know that there has to be God that wants me to do this thing because I don't know how somehow the money falls in place. Yeah, somehow the money falls into place, and
that's great. That's great.
Yeah, just keep it moving.
Well, keep it going because we need you.
Thank you.
We need someone to come and taste something special.
Yes, thank you.
We're used to our own food at home. We need to come out and have a good time, bring our family, friends.
Yes.
Yeah, come somewhere and thank you for
Thank
making
you so
this
much for
space.
having me.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
shut it down for you today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Locked the doors, but we're rounding up now, so
Yes.
business will get back
To normal.
to business. Yeah, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Is there any last thing you want to say?
I just say to people, just find that you want to do a business, research it, be
Yeah.
passionate about it.
Yeah.
You know, don't listen to people that you have to have $1 million to start a business. Start small, keep it consistent, and soar.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit,
Yeah.
or past the sky.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you everybody for watching this Ignite Entrepreneurs. It's been wonderful with Hazelyn. She shared everything about starting and how she kept going. And there's a connection between childhood and where she is today. So our parents, please remember, you have to inspire the children because you never know how big a tree they will become. And children too, learn. And when we say children doesn't mean people
Small
in primary
children.
school.
Yes.
We're all children.
Yes.
60, 70, 80, we remain children. But
Yeah.
there's always something to learn. So thank you for watching, and don't miss the next one. Thanks again. And
Thank
see
you.
Bye.
Thank you.